There we go. All right, we're going to start over. Welcome everybody to 3 strategies to attract and retain employees. I'm Jennifer Koch with Next Wave Business Training, and I just would like to welcome you, and I look forward to spending the next 45 minutes to an hour with you all. I wanted to share in this training that you're going to walk away with an understanding of what is most important for today's employees. That's the key word, today. And some new ideas that can help you, that you can put into action immediately to attract qualified talent for your business. I know we are tired of this conversation. It seems like everybody's talking about where did all the employees go? How do I hire? What do I need to do? So I just want to say thank you for taking the time tonight and investing that time with me. And I really do hope that you walk away with some strategies for your business. So let's talk about Q&A and also a free gift. So if you stay with me till the end, I have a free gift for you. And then I also am going to open it up to live Q&A, because like I said before, I really want this to be about what you need in your business. And so 3 ways to get your questions answered. Feel free to use the chat at any time. Put a message in there in the chat. You can also send a question directly to Angela K/support is her chat name. So that way, if we want it anonymous, or if you just want to send it. And then at the end, I'm going to open it up and we can do a live Q&A if you want to unmute yourself. I just know how I am at these things. And when I think of something, I don't want you to forget it. And I want to make sure you walk away with your questions answered. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to tell you, you are in the right place if you are a small business owner that is struggling to work on your business because you're always short-staffed and you find yourself doing all the things, or you are ready to start to hire or think that in 2022 will be the year that you get to hire. Or maybe you had no idea when starting your business, you would spend so much time on hiring and you'd like to learn some new strategies. You're also in the right place if you feel like you've tried everything to hire and yet you can't seem to attract qualified staff to fill your open positions. So I would love to hear from you. Which one resonates most with you? Are you guys a 1, a 2, a 3? And if you want to answer, drop it in the chat. All right. So I want to share a little bit about the struggle is real, right, Angie? I hear you. And Trish said number 1. Yes, it's like we just can't. Who knew we were going to spend so much time at this? We got some 2s, and some of us might be a little bit of all of the above. I mean, I do feel like that is real. So, okay, a little bit about me and how I came to training on this subject. First of all, I've been married for 31 years to my husband, Brian. We have 3 children. Our oldest is Sierra, and she is married to David. And then our second daughter, Hannah, just graduated from college and moved back home and is working. And then our son, Garrett, is a junior in high school. And I started my entrepreneur career back in 1998, and that's me in the middle picture there. I owned a brick and mortar bakery for 20 years. I opened my doors on August 17th, 1998, and 2 days later, my second daughter, Hannah, was born, August 19th, 1998. That is a story for another day. Not something I'd recommend, but anyway, I owned that business for 20 years. And then I guess because I didn't have enough to do, and the third picture is me back in 2010, I started a business with a girlfriend, Sharon. It's called Just Between Friends. We brought that business here to Grand Rapids. It was a children's consignment sale where we employed teams of people and we would hold that sale twice a year. So a little bit about what I'm doing now, besides hanging out with my Goldens and my family. I am a small business coach. My passion is helping small business owners learn how to work on their business, not just in their business, so that they can focus on growth, profits, and avoid burnout and find joy in your business. And so that is part of the reason I got into coaching and consulting was during the pandemic when I was watching all the small business owners struggle. I thought, you know what, I have a skill set that can help them. So that's what I'm doing today. I work a lot with one-on-one clients, small businesses, and the focus always seems to be, how can I get more clients? And then also, how can I find some employees? And we just talk about, can you imagine if you could start working on your business that you love instead of always filling in for employees? Or can you imagine you start receiving applicants to your help wanted ads and they actually show up to the interview? Has anyone been ghosted to an interview? If so, I bet you have. Drop ghost in the chat. And also just, that your stress and frustration decrease because you actually have a team dedicated to helping you grow your business. And that's why I'm here. And that's what I'm wanted to share some strategies with you. Oh, I love Trish said in the chat, not ghosted, but showed up very late and in sweatpants. I mean, that's just, not fun. Oh, and ghosted by the employer. Oh, geez, Hannah. So, the current reality is we are in unprecedented times that will require changes from the small business owner if they want to continue to attract the best talent. What worked 5, 6, 7 years ago, even in 1998, when I started my business, isn't working anymore. The good news is you're here, you're willing to adapt and learn and implement some new strategies in your business. And I believe you're in the right time, the right place to start creating a new hiring strategy. And here's why. The great resignation that we keep hearing about, it's going to become the great return. And by working now on your business, you want to set yourself up to be the place where people want to work. So tonight, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about what today's employees really want. We're going to talk about how to attract the best employees. We're going to then go into how to craft a job posting that actually gets applicants. And then the why we need to change our hiring practices and how entrepreneurs can benefit from trainings. Ways to work with me if you want to take this further. And then at the end, live Q&A. And like I said, stay with me, you get a free gift too. All right, so let's jump into strategy number 1. All right, so let's talk about what today's employees are looking for. A lot of these factors were here before the pandemic, but what's happening now is these are now becoming decision-making factors for job seekers. So for instance, the latest, this is from lots of different research. The latest is employees want to feel appreciated and supported in the workplace. So much so that 79% of employees left their job over lack of appreciation. They want to feel recognized. 60% of today's employees are motivated more by recognition than money. So sometimes I kind of find that hard to believe. I think they want that more than money, but they want recognition, right? And a very important one is, and I'm sure you're hearing a lot about it, is culture and values. They want the company's culture and values to align with theirs. So much so that this was one of the biggest statistics, 88% choose this over as a deciding factor of where they're going to work. They also want to enjoy the team. They want the opportunity to learn new things. A lot of people left their jobs in the last couple of years and they don't want to go back to doing what they were doing before. They want transferable skills. And I don't mean like learn something at your business and take it to another business, but something that they can do inside of their, lifestyle. Open communication was another huge one. 96% of today's employees crave transparency. They want the business owner to share with them what's going on. So when you look at this list, anything surprise you from this list? If so, feel free to drop it in the chat. I like how Angie said, yep, they want emotional hugs. And maybe it's because we're so tired and burned out, but you're right, they want emotional hugs. So what does this mean to you as a business owner? What can you do as a small business owner to start addressing some of these demands? And, Hannah, I love your comment. She says, these are all things I want as an employee, no surprises. You're right. Okay, so let's talk about what today's employees are looking for. Obviously, we do not have time to go into all of these, so I wanted to start with the big one, which is culture and values. Companies' values and culture align with theirs. So let's take a look at the definition of company values. Beliefs, philosophies, principles that drive your business. The definition of company culture is the personality and character as a result of the values. So what we're seeing is that values comes first. Values are the heartbeat of the business, and then it's followed by crafting a culture. Now, I know a lot of times we hear this and we think, oh, culture is just a buzzword, kind of like pivot and all these other buzzwords that came out of the pandemic. But I don't feel that's the truth. I think this is really here to stay, and it took the pandemic to make that a realization. So what does this mean for you as a business? Well, here's the thing. Your business has values. You know, like Danielle's at Vitale's family is a huge value of their business. You know, your business has a culture. It already has that. It's part of who you are. It's part of who your business is. But the difference is, until now, we weren't really expected to label them. We weren't really expected to make that part of our marketing or our hiring. And today's employees are asking us to do that. So when I look at my business that I owned for 20 years, the brick and mortar bakery, my values were genuine, creative, visionary, innovative, team, accountable. So, you know, we were a bakery. Creative was very important because with bakery, you always want to be the new trend. You know, it's like, where's the next cronut, right? Team, it always took more than one person to make the product. We wanted genuine, honest people. They said what they would do and they did it, and they said when they needed help. We were really big on being accountable. There was no finger pointing. So let me take you back to 2008. I started my business in 1998. I had owned it for 10 years. I was sitting with a brick and mortar bakery and 10 employees, and the recession happened of 2008. And a lot of our business was gifting. It was corporate gifting. It was these decorated cookies, and we would deliver them. And all of a sudden, things started drying up a little bit because people were losing their jobs. Companies had to cut out that fun discretionary, expense. So I looked around the bakery. I met with my team, and at that time, cupcakes were becoming popular. There was this little show on TV called Cupcake Wars. It was just getting started. I looked around Grand Rapids. There wasn't really cupcakes anywhere in Grand Rapids. So we launched cupcakes. And we launched a brand of cupcakes called Cupcake by Design. I can honestly tell you that 2008 was the best thing that ever happened to my business. We ended up going national. We ended up franchising it. It was huge. And I look back and think, could I have done that if I didn't have employees that aligned with my values? If I didn't hire employees that fell into these buckets, the creative, the visionary, the team, would we have been as successful with it? I don't know. And so that's why when you start hiring with values in mind is how you can attract people that are going to fit your team. So here's kind of a short list of values. You can also Google them. And I'm going to pause here for a second because I want you to just kind of think about your business. Don't overthink it. Don't try to come up with 10 value words. What comes to mind, like the first 3 to 5 value words that represent who you are and what you want your business to reflect. So let's pause here for a second. If you want to, jot down notes, if you want to share in the chat, I just want you to kind of think about how this relates to you and your business. Angie says reliable. That's a big one. Integrity, honesty. And you think, which value means the most to your business? Quality, we're seeing reliable, detail, fun. I love that, fun. Trish owns an event business. So yes, she wants people that represent fun. Okay, so now you think about your values, and that's going to take us into strategy number 2. Oh, I like how Jen says ambitious. That's great. Okay, so as we look into strategy number 2, we want to talk about who is your target market. your ideal employee, right? And it's interesting because as small businesses, most of us create a target market for our clients. We have our demographics, the gender, the annual income, behavior patterns, like, oh, they love dogs, nature, what they're into, they're foodies. And we create this whole target market, and then we go out to go get clients and customers. But how many of us really do that for employees? We haven't really had to, but now we want to look at who is your best employee. It's like we want to take those lists of ideal values. And what we find is that most businesses hire looking for education or experience. But what we're learning is that we really want to start thinking about values and culture, and that's what the employee wants as well. So to attract the right employee, start with your ideal list of ideal values. We just went through that kind of list. Now, let me focus on the word ideal, because you're probably not going to find an employee that's going to check all those boxes. And you have to decide what's a no-go, a non-negotiable for you, and what you're willing to accept. And then I want you to write a list of current open positions, or ones that maybe potentially will be coming open soon. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times we always wait and then we react. And it's like a fire drill. We've got an open position, we got to fill it. Oh no, orders are coming in. And sometimes there's some trends in our business. There's nothing right or wrong with that. It's just the trends of a position that might have a lot of turnover. So, I always say, kind of think forward, or think, what am I going to be doing in 2022? Am I going to need an employee in a certain position? And then take your value list, take your open position list, and let's look at the idea of hard skills versus soft skills. As employers, we tend to look at the open positions about hard skills. Okay, hard skills are the technical skills, the education, the experience, the training, the knowledge. So like, for instance, if you own a marketing company and you develop websites, yes, you need somebody with hard skills that knows the back end of developing a website. If you are a business that owns a dog grooming business, yes, you need somebody who's been trained in dog grooming. But can you look at some of your positions and look for soft skills? Soft skills are communication, teamwork, problem solving, time management, critical thinking. Ask yourself, are there any open positions that you're willing to train if you found the right applicant based on their values and culture? So, when you look at the hard skills versus the soft skills, let's say you own a senior living community. Some soft skills there: compassion, teamwork, problem solving. Maybe you can train on some of the things that are needed. For instance, in the bakery that I owned, I rarely hired a baker that had a culinary degree or was a baker. We trained them. And it's because for some reason with baking, there was this nostalgia of working there. Oh, I used to bake with grandma. Oh, I always wanted to bake. Oh, I'd love to work in a commercial bakery. And they turned out to be great employees. Yes, it does take a little bit more time on the employer to train them. But if they possess the right values and soft skills, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth the extra time to train them? So each case is different. You have to look at your business. You have to look at your open positions. But I'm just trying to encourage you to look at it with maybe a different lens and think of it with a little bit, bigger picture. And ask yourself, what are you willing to train? So I had a CEO share with me, and he was a CEO of a large company, that most people hire for education and experience first. And he said that's a mistake. In his years of being a CEO, he hired for attitude and character first, because then that creates education and experience. They're going to be a better employee. So today's modern take on that is hire for values and soft skills, train them to get the education and the experience. But like I said, full disclosure, this takes a lot of work on your part, but doesn't hiring, interviewing, repeat? It's like, where are you going to come out further ahead? Are you going to come out further ahead finding the right fit for your business, spending the time training them? Most likely, yes. So does anybody have any open positions currently that they feel would be a good fit for soft skills? If so, I'd love to see, please drop them in the chat. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Okay, so let's venue manager. Yes, venue manager is a great one, Trish. Okay, so let's look at, Hannah. She said we're hiring a whole team of dance instructors in March. So, that's something, Hannah, to think about. If you find the right fit for your business, are you willing to train them? And is there some kind of training you can take them through as a group so that they're, learning at once? Obviously, sometimes they also need some hard skills there, but that's a great example. So now strategy 3, we got strategy 1. We know what they're looking for. Strategy 2, we're going to pay attention to our values and our culture. And now we're going to compile your list of values, open positions, hard skills and soft skills. And what are we going to do with that? We're going to do something a little bit different than what we're seeing right now. So first of all, this is what not to do. I notice over and over and over, most of the help wanted ads are employer focused. They list the position. They list the job description, like in this example I have up here is customer service. Your role will focus on providing the correct resolutions for both customers and business. And it's all this blah, 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 what I want from you. And then the main accountabilities are doing these certain things. And then what I'm requiring from you, the hard skills. So, I don't know, has anyone noticed we're a pretty self-centric society? We all love a good selfie. We all love our social media. So why do employers create job postings that are all about them and not about the employee? It's because that's what we know. That's what we've been taught. That's what we do. And it's worked. But what if we got a little more creative and did something that was a little bit more about the employee? What to expect, the culture, the atmosphere, what you're willing to train. Because remember, we have this group of people that have left their jobs and they're looking for something new. So, let's take this customer service representative example. And what if you led with more of are you someone who has a passion for building relationships, loves to talk all day, loves focusing on details. And this rewarding position allows you to make others feel good, allows you to help them solve their problems. What's required? Yes, you need to list the hard skills because yes, you do need qualified employees. I get that. But are there any soft skills? And then list what you're willing to train. A lot of times you'll see willing to train, maybe be a little more specific so that somebody feels like, what, maybe I could do that. And then don't forget to mention how you're going to support them, appreciate them, and recognize them. Company offers support, monthly luncheons, flexible schedule, of course, pay and everything. But what if you became a little bit more of a storyteller? Paint a picture of what it might look like to work at your company. Use the word you more than we. We want them to start relating to this and visualizing it, feel it. They want to start to experience it. Obviously keep in mind that you need to be realistic and we're not trying to paint a picture that's not accurate, but we're just trying to use a different spin on it and put the employee first. So this was a fun one that I found. When I say become a storyteller, this help wanted ad said, spend more time on the beautiful Snake River. Enjoy opportunities that abound nearby, such as fishing and golfing and hiking and birding and kayaking and sightseeing. Our campground is set up with your dedicated site in a quiet location. Host duties include greeting visitors, daily cleanup of 8 campsites, and 2 nice restrooms. Day use area and accommodations on the river's edge. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast, by the time I got to the bottom of this, I could have cared less that I had to clean bathrooms. So my point is be factual, but try to, we obviously don't want to be misleading, but do try to, paint a picture for them. So the great resignation will turn into the great return. The question is, will you position your business as the one employees want to return to? Do you see how powerful it can be attracting the best employees for your business when you have an employee first strategy? If so, feel free to drop a yes in the chat. Times have changed. And as business owners, can we agree that you cannot keep doing what we've done in the past? Employees have the choices. Employees are in the driver's seat. Can you agree in order to build a sustainable business, continue to grow, improve your profits, and avoid burnout, which is a big one right now, as a business owner, we need dedicated employees. So I want to share with you, and Hannah just mentioned in the chat that turnover is very expensive, and you're right, it is. And I've been doing some training on that, how expensive it is. It affects your bottom line. So that's a great point. Thank you, Hannah. So I want to share with you if you want some more help in this area. So if you are looking for a comprehensive strategy that you can easily implement into your everyday operations, transform your hiring and retention practices so you can save time, money, and avoid burnout, would this interest you? And if so, I wanted to share that I have launched a digital course called Help Wanted to Fully Staffed: Creative Strategies to Attract Today's Employees. So I'm just going to quickly share with you what is in that course, and then we will get to the Q&A. So in this self-paced digital course, you'll walk away from feeling frustrated to hopeful and walk away with a plan, because hope is great, but we need a plan. It will be a concise, creative strategy that actually works to start recruiting and retaining qualified employees for your business. The goal is to get back to working on your business. So what you'll get is it's 7 self-guided modules that you do at your own pace when time allows in your schedule. You'll create an executable roadmap, something that you can use to recruit and retain top talent. You'll also learn how to cultivate an environment that's going to help you put your business on the top of I want to work for them list. So let me take you through the different modules. Module 1 and 2 is about the building blocks of your personal strategy for your business. We touched on them briefly today, but the reality is you can't build a plan without data, and I believe knowledge is power. So I'm going to dive in deeper into the Great Resignation, where people went, what they want, when they're coming back, all those kind of things. And we're going to dive into low-cost daily actions that you can implement in your business to not only attract new employees, but to retain the ones you have. Because I will tell you that the #1 recruiting toolbox you have in your tool in your toolbox is your current employees. So if we can start even making some small steps to acknowledge the things that they desire, that's going to make a big impact on them recruiting for you. Module 3 and 4 is going to be diving deeper into culture and values. You are going to walk away with clarity and a culture mission statement. And what do you do with that mission statement? Well, I will tell you, there's ways you can implement it easily, just little small steps. It takes time and you just build it. And it can help you impact all decisions in your business, not just hiring. So your business will be stronger in all aspects, not just the hiring. We'll dive deeper into the employee target market and really start crafting some target markets for your different open positions. The goal is to stop wasting time and energy on attracting the wrong employee. 5 and 6 are how to write job postings. I'll help you with that with your open positions. And then important one is the marketing campaign that goes behind this. It's great to write a job posting, but we have to get active with marketing. It's like HR and marketing have to come together. And so we'll go through some low-cost digital strategies and strategies that you can do in your business to start marketing those open positions. And then the last module is my favorite, which is the always be looking long-term strategy. It was one of my favorite ones that I implemented in my own business, and I'll share with you how to fill your pipeline, where and how often to be looking, avoid the fire drill of always having to hire quick, and save those costly turnover costs and get back to focusing on your business. So with this package, you get a bonus of support from me. I'll be available for you for 30 days from the time you start your training. And it's through Voxer. And Voxer is a free walkie-talkie app. So all you have to do is shoot me a quick question and we can talk about things. So I'm there to kind of help you, guide you through this, brainstorm with you and just support you through it. So, I didn't go to entrepreneur school. My guess is you didn't either. I went to the school of hard knocks, trial and error. And I'll tell you that trial and error is the most expensive investment you can make in your business. And that is why I got into coaching and consulting. Is my hope is to help businesses avoid those costly mistakes. And my focus is helping business owners own a business, not get stuck inside the four walls of filling in for open positions. I truly believe that small businesses are the heart of the community. I mean, they're the people that hire your kids. They're the boots on the ground for our charities. And so that is my passion, is helping business owners create a sustainable business. And a sustainable business means your business is going to keep ticking along, whether a pandemic happens or you have to take 6 weeks off for knee surgery or whatever it is. And that can only happen with the right employees. So I used my 20 years of experience to guide you through that. And then in addition to, another bonus is some downloadable interview questions that'll help you with the soft skills and value piece of the questioning when it comes to interview. I want you to know there's a money back guarantee. It's 14 days, no questions asked. So there's 2 packages. The digital course by itself, self-paced, is $497. You can break it up into 2 monthly payments. And then I do have a VIP package, which includes 2 one-on-one 60-minute sessions with me, where we will really get personal about your business and really create a strategy that works for you. And that is $787, or you can do 3 payments. So you choose your package, either package 1 or package 2 with the VIP. Both bonuses come with that. So some people will say, do I really need a hiring course? Eventually I'll start to find the right people. And, hiring, I would say, is one of the most critical elements to growing a strong business. Wouldn't it be so less stressful to create peace of mind, have a step-by-step strategy that you can understand? Yes, we do get lucky time to time when the right person walks in the door, but I really want to change the way you look at it to be more proactive. And, I always say, what would that mean for your business and your financial picture? And then the other question about this is, how long will it take? Because I know you're all really busy. And so for that reason, I created a course with that in mind. It's pre-recorded, do it at your own time. Of course, I do recommend scheduling 15 minutes or 30 minutes to 60 minutes a week of scheduled time so that you will focus on it. Put the time in now, not later. And just to let you know, this is not an HR compliance course. When it comes to hiring, always be sure to defer to your local hiring laws. This is more about strategies of things you can change internally in your business and marketing that you can do to start looking for the right employee. So if this at all interests you, you can go to my website, Next Wave Business Coaching. There's a little blue thing that says Help Wanted to Fully Staffed. That'll take you to this page. There's an enroll button. From there, you choose your payment and which package you want. And then from there, it's going to take you through steps on how to sign up, create a password, and you'll know you're in the right place when you land on this video of me that says, welcome to Help Wanted to Fully Staffed, and it's my face frozen. And I don't know why, but every time I load a video, I swear, it doesn't always pick the ugliest picture of yourself. It's just what it does. So anyway, the class is available from today through February 20. So we are now, and there's also a link in the chat too, if you want it to take you to that page. So we are now at the thank you part. I want to say thank you for your time, because I know your time is valuable. And I just really appreciate you spending it with me. And my thank you gift to you is one of my favorites, is coffee. So you will be receiving an email in the next 24 to 36 hours with a gift card to Starbucks to treat yourself to a coffee. It was either that or wine, and I thought coffee would be the easier one. And then at this time, I want to open it up to questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I want you guys to walk away feeling like you've got somewhere to go with your situation of trying to find people, or wherever you're at. So if anyone has a question and would like to unmute, feel free, or if you'd like to type it in the chat or even send it over to Angela. I want to make sure you walk away with everything you need. Hannah.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, thank you so much for the presentation and the coffee gift card. That's really sweet. see you
Thank-
modeling those, like, make people feel appreciated and recognized values. Um, so I am opening a brand new business. It's a startup, and we're opening in April. So we'll be going through the hiring process for the very first time, and hiring an entire staff in the next month, which is a really huge undertaking.
Mhm.
And one of the things I'm curious about is that we've actually had like a huge response already in folks that want to work with us, and we haven't even started advertising yet. And I'm worried about I guess the process of like hiring, what I need, which is probably like 6 or 7 people to start, but retaining those folks who are like so interested and enthusiastic, and like being able to reach back out to them in 6, 8, 12 months, like when we do need a bigger team. Fingers crossed that is the case.
Mhm.
But I'm curious if you have any experience with like saying no to good people, but like best practices for going back to them when you're ready for them, because I imagine that we might get a little bit flooded at first with like great applicants and have to say no to some really valuable folks.
Well, first of all, congratulations on opening your own business. You know that you're a woman after my own
Been a
heart.
year.
I love that. So very exciting. So, that's a great question. And it's a great question because it's helping you think long-term. And so you're right. Whenever a new business comes to town, there's a lot of buzz. Everybody wants to check it out and work there and do all of that. My suggestion would be to just be really transparent with your communication. Take the time to interview these people. Get to, start putting your values and your culture together so that you can start figuring out who fits where. And another thing I want to touch on with values and culture is you don't want robots. You don't want everybody the same. You want a nice balance, but you want to make sure that, they align with your values too. You're not looking for 10 of the same person is what I'm trying to say. And just be really honest with them, because people appreciate honesty and they appreciate transparency. And I think if you just said to them, you would be a great fit and I would love to hire you, but I probably won't have an opening for maybe 6 months. Can I keep touching base with you once a month? Kind of ask them permission. Can I just touch base? Let's just keep touching base and I'll keep you up to date. And as soon as I have a better timeline, I'll let you know and I'll try to give you as much lead time as possible.
Yeah, I love the idea of like touching base regularly with folks. I've become like such a big fan of coffee dates since like the idea of opening a business. And
Right.
yeah, I think that's a great suggestion, instead of just like waiting 6 months, which is where my brain was at. So thank you.
Yeah. And also too, if you think it's going to come in 6 weeks, they're going to want some time too to adjust, because maybe they're going to go find a filler job in the meantime. And but your job is more of ideal for them. So, make sure you're giving them enough time to do what they need to do, appropriately at where they're currently working.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So thank you. Great question. Anybody else have anything?
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Jessica and I work, sorry, I look like a hot mess, but anyways, I work at Right Rope and we are in the hiring process right now. We recently put together our values, which is something you talked about. So internally, we have 5 core values and they're very reflective. When we wrote the job description for what we're hiring for right now, we included soft skills and hard skills, but we didn't like weave values into there. I imagine you don't go out and just like post a poster of your 5 values, but can you talk about like how you would weave values into a job description?
Well, that is a great question. And you're right. You're not going to put, listing qualities, looking for, ambitious, listing all the values. I think it's kind of that copywriting, creative copywriting, where take your words of values and maybe put them in front of you and your open position and think about what words could you kind of use to describe the position that would attract somebody with those values, being a little creative that way. And maybe you do pop in 1 or 2 because you want values to be something that's part of everyday decision. So, and it has to start from the top down. It's going to, you're going to use it with the language. And so I think it's okay to incorporate a little bit of it. I just think it has to flow, right? It has to make sense. But don't be afraid of putting those out there because that's what employees want. That's what employees crave. And maybe it's even a job posting that talks about how important values are to you as a business. Maybe it's more about that instead of this is what we're looking for. but this is who we are.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else have anything else? Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much again. Like I said, I really appreciate your time. And I hope you walk away with at least 1 or 2 nuggets that you can take into your business. Anything that you can start using to start attracting those employees. And I am here for you. If anything comes up, take a look at that course if you really want to dive deeper, so you have a roadmap, and also reach out to me at any time with any questions that pop up.
I actually had another question. I just didn't want to monopolize, since I'd already asked.
No, go for it.
In case anyone else was waiting to speak up. So we've done a lot of work on crafting our values and our mission and our vision statements. And we're in the process ahead of hiring and writing our employee handbook, developing our pay scales, having all of those in place before we even start interviewing folks, obviously, so that we have them as reference documents. And we've actually gotten pushback from our lawyer and some of our other coaches on doing employee-centered contracts and position descriptions and things like that, because of carrying liability. And I'm just curious if you've worked with any business owners who have navigated that. Our lawyer specifically is just trying to rip apart my handbook because it's too employee friendly, and I don't really know what that means, because like you said, I don't think that you can over invest in your employees and making them want to be happy at work. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that, as far as businesses navigating carrying the liability of employing people, but also having very employee centered policies and keeping them on board.
Right. That's a tough one for me to address, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a HR compliant. And so that's why I always say, do surround yourself with people that know. The only thing I can think of is, I know lawyers, they have a different mindset when they look at something, but I would think that you could craft a handbook that would be with your employee policies that cover you, but also support them. So, I would maybe ask them, well, what language can I use? Is there something, I still want it to be employee focused, but I want to be protected, obviously, because that's extremely important. Is there some language you can use? And, I love how Angie Schuster said in the chat that those lawyers aren't with the times. I mean, I don't know how far the pike you've gone down, but is that the right lawyer for your business? I don't know, but anyway, that's hard for me to answer, because I want you to be covered. You need to do what, you're being coached to do. But I would definitely just ask, well, what language can I use? And really, employee centered and all of that comes from your daily actions. It comes from your leadership. It doesn't really come from the handbook so much. And most people, once they have a handbook, they've read it, they've signed it, they've agreed to it. I think you probably could incorporate a lot of your employee focused ideas, as long as, that are good for them, and still create a handbook that's going to cover you.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that we're trying to do is offer baseline benefits, because most dance studios don't offer any, because they have completely part-time staffs. So we're getting pushback from folks on can you actually commit to that? And in our financial projections, we've proven that we can. But regardless, it's well, are you really going to offer benefits to part-time employees? And it's well, yeah, because I don't want to lose them anyways.
Right.
So it's been this constant back and forth with our coaching teams and our legal advice on how to navigate that without overcommitting,
Right.
which has been a point of frustration for me and my business partner entirely, because we're well, of course we want our employees to be taken care of. We've both worked as dance instructors and been left out to dry by employers a dozen times. So yeah, it's an interesting transition that we're having to push back against.
Right. And I understand their point of view, because they're trying to protect you and making sure that you're thinking of all those things. So, as long as you run the numbers and you feel comfortable with it, at the end of the day, it's your business, it's your decision. So. All right. Anybody else? All right, well, you guys all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, and thank you for joining me in this training. And I would love to hear back from you if you have a moment to shoot me a DM on Facebook or email, and just kind of would love to hear your key takeaway from this. So hopefully I'll hear from you soon. And I just want to thank you again for your time. Everyone have a good night.